digital transformation in the world of B2B sales. I'm Tonya Hall for ZDNet and Tech Republic, and joining me is Craig Rosenberg. He is the co-founder and chief analyst at Topo. Welcome, Craig.
Pleasure to be here. It's a real honor.
Tell us about Topo. What do you do, and what motivated you to start the company?
So we are a research advisory consulting firm that's focused on studying the habits of the world's fastest growing companies across their sales and marketing. And so the motivation behind starting the company was really basic. I mean, we were out there talking to different organizations across, the different disciplines, sales, marketing, et cetera. And what we found was that what everyone wanted to know about was, what are the A players doing? What are the world-class companies doing? And the truth is there are amazing things happening in B2B sales and marketing. And so we took that idea and we said, great, we're going to go study what the greatest companies in the world are doing across their sales and marketing and come back to the world with the strategy, people, process, technology, tactics of the world's fastest growing companies.
You've said that sales and marketing industries are on the verge of a reckoning. What do you mean by that, and how does that play with digital transformation?
Well, I think digital transformation is driving basically the automation of both disciplines, right? And so I feel like the digital transformation idea and the conversation people are having, I feel like it's late in many of the early adopter B2B, particularly in marketing. They've done a pretty good job of moving a lot of their go-to-market to digital. And so that has been, to me, and I know it's a big trend, it's a search term, and I address it all the time, but I when it first started to really pick up steam, I felt like, really? It's a little late. I mean, we are doing that. I mean, and so, look, I think digital transformation is real. I think, that's without question. I do feel like B2B marketing has been ahead of that game. I think B2B sales is starting to pick up a bit more in the digital transformation space. But the reckoning for me is basically we saw a flood of investment and resources into lots of companies. If you take, there's a famous picture by Scott Brinker of the MarTech stack with thousands of tools and applications of it out there in the MarTech space. And the reality is there's just a lot of small. And there's a lot of companies that aren't going to get the next round of funding and aren't going to get past the important markers of 2 to 4 million or whatever that might be. And so, the reckoning is really about consolidation. We're already seeing in B2B, right? There's basically some roll up every other week, that's happening. And so it's happening right now, and it's a consolidation trend, and it's really about big companies picking up a lot of these little companies. I mean, let me tell you a key indicator. I have VCs coming to me going, who should my companies roll up? They're like Series B, Series C companies that they've funded, but they know that the time is now to go roll everyone up. So it's weird, right? Because we have this big digital transformation movement, but we also think we overcompensated and we built a whole lot of things. In the marketing and tech space, everyone just built very tactical tools and applications for everything. And basically not enough of them sort of solve a challenge that the majority of the market needs. And so you're sort of left with a lot of different tools and apps out there that should be rolled up.
If I heard you correctly, you said that the B2B sales is increasing or seeing an upswing, but Forrester predicted 1 million B2B salespeople will lose their jobs by 2020. Why would that be, and what is your take on this?
Well, first of all, I just like to remind everyone in the audience that 2020 is in a year and 2 months, right? I mean, it is coming around the corner, and we see very little indication of that. What I would argue is that I get it, right? A lot of it came from tech. There is e-commerce in B2B. We're seeing that more and more. But actually, what we would argue is that technology today enhances salespeople, where this is the best time in my lifetime to be a salesperson. Because number one, we've seen, particularly in B2B, massive commoditization of product, right? So the differentiation is very difficult to discern across product, across messaging, across marketing. The last sort of key differentiator is the experience. And sales in B2B, sales dominates the experience, right? They are having these one-to-one interactions with the customer. And so they, the ability for sales to deliver a great experience is actually one of the places where you can differentiate in B2B. And so the importance of having great sales is, in our opinion, it's as acute as it's ever been. But the tech today is, we sort of built, you can take the earlier conversation, we built all of these tools and applications, and not all of them solved enough problems. But now as we sort of consolidate and we start to make sense of the tech, we start to realize that there is a lot of foundational technology that can make sales reps better, but more importantly, make their lives easier. One of the big ones we're excited about, oh, sorry, Tonya, did you want to, yeah, one of the big ones I'm excited about is what we're calling sales activity automation. One of the things we realized is we've had all this sales tech come to market, but the day-to-day blocking and tackling of a sales rep is still completely inefficient, right? There's between 40 and, call it 30 and 50% of their day is spent talking to customers. That's not enough, right? Your earmark should be 70. And so we have these all the new tools and applications are coming in, and they are tackling the mundane. Something as simple as taking, notes, right? Note taking, entering activities into Salesforce, doing that automatically, right? These are the things that they sound like, to an analyst in the, looking forward to the world of all these amazing things happening in technology. It may sound really simple, but in sales, it's really important that part of the, one of the exciting things that's happening today is we're looking at all the things sales reps have to do that prevent them from talking to customers. We're trying to solve it. And that's one of the exciting things happening in tech today.
Do you see or foresee any major disruption setting up in 2019?
Well, I think there's, to go along those lines, I am very bullish on, along the lines of the sales activity. I mean, I'm very bullish on the voice assistants. I am, talk about a intuitive way that does not interrupt the flow of someone to be able to take information from them and put it into the system or proactively talk to them. I don't know if voice will be there to do full disruption in 2019, but it's certainly something I'm pretty excited about. The other one, the chat has really, there's been a big resurgence on the B2B side. There's been two forms. So one is just chat the channel, and it's been around for a long time, but, the Drifts of the world and the Intercoms of the world have sort of tackled the chat, the on-site web chat, and done it in a way that makes it a much more human than before, right? Something as simple as someone coming to the website and it routing to the right person to chat with them sounds like a small, but it's actually a big innovation, right? So that chat becomes human. And then as you know, right, the chat bot ideas, as we start to learn, we'll be able to automate much of the mundane. But, one of the hottest tickets has been to buy the web chat. The other thing has been an application like a Conversica, which has been, creating, what we would call a virtual SDR. An SDR is a sales development rep, someone who is it's a human who actually reaches out to prospects to connect with them, qualify them, and pass them to sales. And they've managed to create a virtual SDR. And, we've seen a lot of really amazing use cases where they're using that app to actually send these emails and engage with, call it older, more, latent prospects, people that downloaded something 2 years ago, and something that the humans wouldn't necessarily want to reach out to. And they're doing it in an automated way, and it's shown big returns. So those are a couple areas where I'm pretty excited about. Can I mention one more? The other one that's hot is a thing called intent data, which is essentially the ability for companies to look at all of this, the content searching and consumption of their target accounts outside of their own owned properties. So that is becoming very hot in B2B, right? As we try to find ways to learn more about our buyers, to the ability to sort of capture their web habits and send that back into the organization, and basically alert them if, for example, your keyword is VoIP, right? Phones. And all of a sudden this organization's got 10 people searching for VoIP and looking all across the internet. That information would flow back to the vendor, who can then run plays and whatnot to people who, the data would say the odds are interested in having a conversation with you. So that would be the other one I'm pretty excited about.
Craig Rosenberg, co-founder and chief analyst at Topo. If somebody wants to connect with you, how can they do that, Craig?
So you can come, I would suggest going to the website, Topo HQ, so TOPOHQ.com. There's lots of prompts to sign up to get our newsletter and to get access to some of our free research and information there.
Thanks again. And you can find more of my interviews right here on ZDNet Tech Republic, or go to my website, tonyahall.net. Thanks for watching.